Okay. All right, let's get ready for our talk. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2020. Brand new year. And of course, you heard we're dubbing this year a year of vision. I mean, One more. There we go. 2020, a year of vision. How could we resist? It was just calling it forth. Well, at the beginning of a new year, many of us take time to reflect on our lives, to take a look at, making commitments to change things that aren't working and aspiring to do things that will benefit us and the world and grow and evolve and develop into more. So it's time for us to take inventory of what we would like to leave in the old year. Think about it that way. What do we want to leave behind in the old year? But what do we want to bring with us into this new year? And get a vision of what we want to create in the year 2020. So has anyone ever made a New Year's resolution that you didn't stick with? I'm glad I'm not alone in that. In fact, it's been estimated that only 8% of people who make resolutions keep them. Gym memberships skyrocket in January. And then in February, well, they just kind of slowly return to the previous numbers, pretty much. In fact, there's a saying that New Year's resolutions go in one year and out the other. So most resolutions don't make it because they are have-tos. You know what I'm saying? They're not want-tos. They're not choosing to. It's have-to. They lack joy. They lack life. They lack excitement. They lack vision. They lack inspiration. And they're often tied to past behaviors, along with a belief that there's something we need to change and fix about ourselves, something we need to do to improve ourselves. So we want to change from resolution to evolution. Are you with me? Yes. And recognize that today, right now, we have the opportunity to become free from the past. Isn't that cool? Yes. Seriously. Right now we do. T.S. Eliot says it beautifully. For last year's words belong to last year's language. Next year's words await another voice. And so we're going to listen to that voice. We're going to listen for that voice this morning. It's the voice of inspiration. And then instead of focusing on something we think we need to change or feel like we have to do in order to improve or fix ourselves, let's focus on an inspired vision for our life and what that might be. Let's find out what wants to emerge in our lives and then help it to manifest. Are you up for that? Yes. I read the story of a woman who every New Year's Eve would choose her word for the year, which is something we're going to be doing later on in the service. And then she would try to be it every single day. And so one year, the word gift came to her. And so for the next 365 days, she found ways to give a gift of some kind to someone. And so it ranged from paying for the person behind her in Starbucks, to reading an extra long story to her sons, to quilting a sleeping bag for a homeless man. But every day she was on the lookout to see where she could embody the word gift. And that's the key. Embodying the word. Now, the real gift came for her when her young son caught her attention in the grocery line and whispered that the man behind only had 2 items and that they should let him in. And she was delighted that her sons had actually joined her in finding a way to give a gift. And you see, that's the beauty of spiritual community, is that we can support one another in our journey to express more of who we are. See? And I find that's so exciting. That's the value we have here. So this morning we're going to listen to that still small voice within, and we're going to let it reveal what is ready to emerge in our lives for us right now. And we do that by participating in the white stone ceremony, which is a ritual that honors the awakening and the expression of our true self, of that deeper dimension of who we are. It's our inner potential, starting to really actualize that. And we do that by listening to Spirit's voice for a new name, or a new word, or a new quality, or a theme, or a guiding word of some kind. And it could be a couple of words, like published author, or fit and fabulous, or clean and sober. Whatever emerges for you will be the right thing. And whatever comes forth represents what you are ready to develop and express throughout the year 2020. Now, the white stone ceremony is based on scripture from Revelations 2:17. To him or her that overcomes will I give a white stone, and in the stone a new name written. In Unity, we look at scripture as allegorically interpreted, but personally utilized, right? Allegorically interpreted, personally applied. In other words, what does this mean to me? What does the scripture mean to me? And as we consider the deeper meaning, we can see that metaphysically, when a biblical character had a name change, they had changed in some way. They had overcome something. They had transformed. And here's the thing, we become so much more when we overcome adversity. Has anybody here overcome any adversity this year? So you know what I'm talking about then. Now, why a white stone? Well, during the time of the Roman Empire, when people were released from prison, they were given a white stone to take with them to show that they were free. And so it was a symbol of a fresh start, a clean slate. When you had a white stone, you had permission to leave your past stories behind you and start a new life. Do you see the reasoning behind this? So are you ready to leave your past stories behind you to start a new life? Good, you're in the right place. And so at the start of this new year, we take the opportunity to do that as we reaffirm who we've come here to be. And it's about diving into our divine identity and excavating a guiding word or a quality or a theme or a phrase or a name so that we can more fully, as we apply this word, live more fully into who we've come here to be, who we truly are. Because what is longing to come forth is within you right now. You don't have to look outside of yourself to find it. We just have to get still. We have to be prepared to listen, willing to follow the guidance that we receive. Now, as you entered the sanctuary this morning, you should have received a stone. And if you didn't receive one, raise your hand. Ushers have another one. These are sacred stones brought in all the way from the sanctity of Home Depot. I've been waiting all morning to say that. Please be careful of some of the edges on these. They're a little bit rough. And thanks to Gary Howard for patiently sitting there with his knife and cleaning that off for us. Where's Gary? Thank you. Thank you. We are so blessed here. So he got most of it off, but just be mindful of that as you're handling it. You should have also received a folded paper, yellow paper, and a white paper, a white sheet, half size, with your bulletin. Again, if you didn't receive one, if you raise your hand, we can get it. We're going to be using all of these materials during our time together.
Can we share with the partner?
No, we can't share with a partner. Yes. Please, you're going to have your own individual one, so if you just took one to share, please get another one. And there are pens in the seat back in front of you that we can use when it's time to write. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, these stones, you can't use pen on them, we've discovered. So we have a table in the foyer set up with markers. So you can get your word, you could write it on your paper, and then after service, write it on with the marker. But we'll need the pens for something else we're doing. So we're going to begin with a brief meditation where you'll be invited to allow your heart to give you a new name or quality or theme for the new year. Dr. Gary's going to lead us through that. And then during that time, he'll just pause for a silent time so you can really listen. We're going to be doing that a couple of times this morning. So you want to come up?
All right, so let's just settle in this moment. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes as the lights sort of draw down, as we settle into this moment. I just invite you to open your hearts. And so as we begin in this moment, as we bring our attention and awareness to this time and this place, as we settle into our seat and allow ourselves to become present, let's begin to become conscious of the activity of spirit that is moving within each of us. And as we feel the stillness, as we become present, it is in the stillness that arises all that is necessary and good. And so we bring our focus to this dimension within, this place where spirit and awareness converge, where we can receive inspiration and guidance. And so let us feel the divine presence simply by just knowing and feeling our oneness, our connection to each other, to all of life. Know right now that you are safe and secure, that you are loved and appreciated by the spiritual community. Feel this loving presence as it surrounds and supports each one of us. The white stone represents freedom and a new life. See it as a symbol of who you have come here to be. Let it remind you that you have the gift of choice, the gift to live differently, to live more fully, to begin again, to connect with spirit and to co-create a life that draws you into the greatest expression of who and what you've come here to be. And as you feel that which is seeking to arise and make itself known, as you feel a revelation, a new name, allow it to come easily, without strain, without effort. As you open your heart to a new life theme for this year, let it rise up from within you. Perhaps it starts with the words, I am, and then express whatever it is that you are here to express in your life. What is that word? What is that theme that reflects this new beginning? What is being revealed? Is it a name, a quality, a theme, a new way of being? And so as the word or theme or idea, as it comes into your awareness, note it, for this will be what you write upon the stone in a little while. And so in the next moment, let us continue to open ourselves to the new name, the new theme, the new way of being. If a name has not come to you, just spend the next few days listening, and you will find it will appear. We open our hearts in gratitude to the one presence and one power that showers us with blessings through this awareness of God's presence. As we align with that power, we are shown the way to achieve all that we desire. We are on the path to gaining greater insight and awareness. And we mark this day as the new beginning. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you. Well, we've just taken the first step in our transformative journey. But the change doesn't happen magically. As Thich Nhat Hanh writes, it's one thing to say you want to be a doctor, it's a whole other thing to become one. And so it takes some work. We've got some work to do. But we enter the pathway of transcendence, of evolutionary transformation, when we begin to practice what we pronounce. Do you see? We speak it, but we need to then be it. The anthropologist Ashley Montagu put it this way. The way, my word, by the way, magic, there it is. The way I change my life is to act as if I'm the person I want to be. I found that to be so simple and concise, and yet it speaks volumes about what our work is to be. So we need to take action on the vision if we're going to see results. And it begins by feeling the way we want to feel when that vision comes into manifestation. So if my word is adventure, I need to regularly feel adventurous until it becomes a new habit. If my word is compassion, then I need to routinely feel compassionate as I go about my daily life until it becomes the norm for me. So we want to create a welcoming inner environment for whatever we are envisioning to come forth. See? We want to create a welcoming inner environment for whatever we're seeing in our mind to be expressed. This is a really important step on this journey of transformation. It's how it happens. We have to get to the feeling. For me, my word is magic. What that means, the feelings that come with that are a sense of delight and surprise and excitement and expectation of finding that magic, finding it, knowing it's there and looking for it. And so that's where we want to go with this. The woman who decided to give a gift every day, she found a practice that helped her grow into being a natural gift giver, looking for ways to give every single day. And through that practice, she got into the feeling of being generous, being kind, and she just naturally grew into being a giving person. And this is faith in action, to act as if your vision is already true. Feel as if the thing happened. That's faith. Feel as if it happened. Feel the change and then be the change. Bringing it forth into expression entails acting as if it's already a reality. Now, if we're having trouble with that, if we're having trouble activating the feeling, if we're having trouble even believing that this vision could come forth, then we have some work to do around that. We have some work to do to address what might be blocking us from getting there. Because until we do, we can do positive affirmations till the cows come home, but we are going to stay tied and locked to the past, imprisoned by those limiting beliefs, by our habits, by our fears, unable to move forward into a life of freedom. So it's not just in with the new. There's another aspect of transformation: out with the old. In order to truly embody what we want to express, we have to feel the change, be the change, and release anything that is in the way of its emergence. Evolutionary transformation includes a willingness to do that, to release, to heal all those fears, all those limitations that have held us back in the past, that are holding us back right now from actualizing our pure potential that we are. Are you with me here? Yes. Because this stops us from expressing our vision. We end up having limited vision from limiting beliefs. So as you consider your word, the name, the quality, the theme, whatever's come to you this morning, what is one limitation that you may be holding on to that could get in the way of the change or the transformation that's wanting to come forth? Really give this some thought. So for instance, if the word that came forth for me is generous, but I have a belief that I'm not enough, that's going to stop me. That's going to stop the emergence of generosity. In fact, it will keep me imprisoned in an experience of lack. So just consider in your heart what that might be for you. And when you're ready, these are the questions. What is one limitation that I have claimed as my own? And am I willing to release it? Now here are some common ones. Maybe you can sift through these, see if any of these fit. I'm not good enough. Anyone? I can't do it. I'm not lovable. There's something wrong with me. I don't matter. It's impossible. You see that? It's impossible is what could get in my way of finding magic every day. It's impossible. Although it could be something totally different from any of those. We're going to take a moment and pause for another minute here. See what shows up for you. And when you receive it, and if you're willing to let it go this morning, write it down on your yellow paper that you received. Now this is for your eyes only. You can just write one word or a symbol or anything that has meaning for you. No need to write out every word. When you have written out your word, are you ready to kiss it goodbye? We're not going to kiss it goodbye unless you want to. You can. First, though, I want you to think of someone who embodies compassion for you. Someone who treats you with kindness and love and respect, or has in the past. Just get a feel for that person. What would that person say to you about this limitation? Just imagine their voice telling you, this is not the truth about you. I see your gifts. I know who you are. Feel the compassion flowing from that person to you. And now take that moment and feel that compassion towards yourself as you prepare to release this limitation. Because I know for each one of you that these limiting beliefs are not the truth of who we are. And that as we meet those limiting beliefs with compassion, we begin to dissolve their power. See it? So, as you feel that compassion, if you're ready to let it go, I'm going to ask you to join me in speaking aloud the affirmation on the screen. So together. With compassion toward myself, I let go of this limiting belief and I am set free. Now breathe in the freedom of those words. And if you're ready, go ahead and tear your paper up into tiny little bits. And you can put it in the basket that's coming around. And we will very lovingly and reverently recycle your paper for you. And listen to that tearing sound. Isn't it lovely? And as we recycle this paper, I mean literally, but it's going in the recycle bin when it leaves here. Think of it as creating something new out of this paper. This paper is going to be recycled into new paper, probably, or whatever it is. And it's a clean slate. It becomes a clean slate, a clean piece of paper where anything goes. This is a sign, right here, of our ability to live in this new beginning. So the willingness to tear it up and move on tells us that we are free from any prisons that we may have put ourselves in reality we are. And this is a sign that that is the truth. The Buddha is reported to have said, and you know about this, the Buddha said this, well, who knows, but I liked it, now all that's left is for you to become yourself. I love that. That's all that's left. Just a little bit. So whatever quality you have chosen to develop this year, the next step for you is to take an authentic action that demonstrates it, that gives you the feeling of whatever that quality is. The way that we break the habit of the past is by walking the talk of the present. Do you see it? That's how we do it. Recognizing whenever a limiting belief is tripping us up or blocking our progress, and then releasing it with compassion, meeting it with compassion and kindness so that it can be transformed. And then regularly taking authentic action that demonstrates what we want until we see it. See? We feel it, we be it, and then we see it. That's the order that it comes in. Who we are, who we truly are, can never be boxed in by limiting beliefs. Do you know that about yourself? It's not the truth. We are destined to transform, every one of us. We are destined to grow and evolve, to actualize our divine potential, and to develop into who we have truly come here to be and make a difference in this world. Thank you. And as we do, as we're growing into that truth of who we are, we want to also take some time to support one another in this journey. Because it takes all of us, it takes a village to make this happen. And so I want to try something a little different this year. Never done this before, so let's see how this goes. If you want to take out the white paper that you received, and as you do, we're going to be writing on this paper. Consider all the things that you learned in 2019. What did you learn? What is something you learned that you could share with everyone in this room in a way that could help to bless them on their journey? So just choose one thing that you learned in 2019 and then write out your words of wisdom for someone else. Think fortune cookie style, right? And write out something that is based on what you've discovered. Now, I want to ask us all to frame it as a positive message for someone. So the example I give on the sheet is if what I've learned is that I'm way more capable than I ever give myself credit for, which is actually what I learned this year, then I would frame that, you have everything you need to meet your goals. You are more capable than you realize. You see it? Now, can we all agree to stay away from telling each other how we should all vote in this upcoming election? Okay. And can we all agree to try to frame the message as a positive one? So instead of stay away from people who don't respect you, surround yourself with people who love and support you and can see your greatness. They will help you to grow. Something like that, do you see? Now, I want you to think about what is your lesson and how could you write it out as a positive message for someone else. And as you're doing this, realize that you're being a messenger of sorts. Spirit is working through you right now to bless someone in this room. So really do this with a sense of reverence and discernment. Really feel that. The wisdom is in the room. And I got to tell you, your message matters. So again, we're going to pause for a minute to write out our messages. Once you've written your message, fold it up and again place it in the basket as it comes around. Fold it and put it in the basket. And after the service, these baskets will be on the table where the markers are to put on your stone. And if you've put in a message, then I invite you to take out a message. And then apply it to your word or your theme or a goal that you might have for this year and just see what happens. And I'd love to hear about it. If you get a message that's very poignant with what you're about, please share that. I'd love to hear it. Thank you to our ushers for doing triple duty today. Much appreciated. So, are you ready for evolutionary change this year? Are you ready to transform your life? Yes. Me too. Are you ready to set 2020 up as a year of bringing forth your highest vision, your clearest vision, 2020 vision? That's a yes too. Yes. Well, to do that, align your thoughts, your words, your actions with the higher idea that is trying to emerge from you. Simple as that. Then work with this vision process until it comes alive, you see. Until it begins to live you. Be your envisioned future self right now. And act as if it's the first day today of a better world, the emergence of a better world. Isn't that a great idea? Imagine if today we walked out of here strutting our stuff, knowing that this is a better world and we are helping to bring it into manifestation. I love this anonymous quote that says, "Today I close the door to the past, I open the door to the future, I take a deep breath and I step through and I start a new chapter in my life." There is power when we start to walk our talk and become the change that we seek. And this is the year. This is the year for transformation. And we're the ones we've been waiting for to make our vision a reality. So I want to invite everyone to stand as you're able and join with me in this affirmation that is going to be up on the screen. There it is. Now I want to invite us all to stand if you can. And we're going to do this with sass. Hands on the hip, even if you're sitting. Okay, are we ready to say it together? Together. I'm about to walk into the greatest year of my life. And so it is. Happy New Year.
Thanks, Gary. And ain't this the place to do it, right? Where am I? Where are we? And this is the place to do it because in unity, unity actually stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity also honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, for we know that there is only one presence and one power and one life living through and as each one of us. So whoever you are and wherever you are on your journey of transformation, you are welcome here. We would especially like to welcome those of you that are here for the first time. If you are comfortable, if you raise your hand and let us know. Super, we have some in the center here, over here on the far end corner, being shy, and then one over here on this far side. Wonderful. Anyone else? You can do it really quietly and I'll try not to bring too much attention to you. I'll just sing and dance for you. No, just kidding. So the packet you just received has a form on the outside. Please feel free to, we have one more here in the middle. Please feel free to fill that out and put that in the love offering basket. And that way you'll receive our weekly e-newsletter as well as our Discovery monthly newsletter. Okay, that's actually a quarterly newsletter, my apologies. So if you're interested in receiving those, you can just fill it out and put it in the love offering bag that will be coming by instead of giving a donation today, please. Also, after the service, you can take that packet that you just received to the barista stand that's in our fellowship area and receive a free beverage of your choice. If you have any questions or would like a name tag, there's a welcome stand just to the left outside the door there that you can go to. And if you have any questions, you can just about ask anyone of us here. We're all wanting to welcome you and answer any questions you have. We're glad you're here. We also want to welcome our online viewers. Thank you for joining us this morning. And this is the time when we welcome and greet each other with a handshake, a hug, a high five, a namaste, whatever it is you're comfortable with. Just give that clue or cue and people will honor it. So before we do that, though, let's start with our welcome song. Thank you, Brian.
All right, everybody, our welcome song this morning is Growing Love. Growing love, growing love, we're forever growing love. It's a seed that we can sow, with our bearing it will grow. We are family, we are friends, and the feeling never ends. Together we're forever growing love. Growing love, growing love.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jim Sledge. I have the privilege for in the next 6 weeks to still be your treasurer on your board of trustees. And this is a time of our community giving. And someone apparently has dropped their cell phone, wallet, whatever. I was going to put that into the treasury. Well, welcome everybody to 2020, the year of infinite possibilities. And one of the possibilities that we can make happen is to make sure that we can fund the expenses of this institution with our donations, our gifts, our love offerings. I see that as a real possibility. And to make that possibility happen, I have a couple of suggestions. One would be if this is the year that you feel committed and invited to put a real number on what you are giving and to give that number into the church as a automatic gift, I think that would help immensely. Those of you who are already doing that, and I bless you for doing all that, if you would consider giving a little bit more, giving what you can, as opposed to what you have in your pocket, for instance. Those are two possibilities, I think, that would go a long way to increasing our possibilities of making the expenses covered by what we're giving. So we can use whatever we do for fundraising for things that are really more meaningful to the community and having fun doing that as well. So those are the possibilities I see for us in 2020. And it's been my pleasure to have been the treasurer this past 3 years. So if we would take those possibilities into our hearts and our minds as we say together our prosperity blessing. Together, I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. And so it is.
All right, everyone. Well, this is a piece my brother and I composed quite a while ago, but being that it is a new year and one trip around the sun and back to a beginning, I always find myself coming back to the beginning of this piece. It really recharges and refreshes my soul, and I hope it does. I hope it does the same for all of you.
Brian, you are so gifted. Whew. And he is one of the many gifts in this community and represents similar to the gifts that we've all been giving today. So we give thanks for the gifts that they are. And so it is. Our chaplains today are... sorry, my apologies first. Yep, thank you. Now I know, though, so I'm prepared now. Hey, thanks for that little hint. So we like to give thanks also for the gifts of how we serve. And kitchen helpers are an enormous help for this organization because of the warmth and the hospitality and the atmosphere that they create here. And they're the ones that are cleaning up after the services and making the coffee. They're the ones that are putting out the treats and washing the hand towels, right? We all do this at home. Well, I do this at home. And we have people that do that here for our community. So if you're anyone that's ever participated in that and volunteered in that way, would you please stand so we can acknowledge you? Thank you for your volunteering. Thank you. And Candy and Shirley, the two ladies in the back, if you would just really quickly stand up again, they contribute in so many ways, and they're lovely treats. Yes. Those two wonderful ladies provided the snacks today, and there's always a wonderful, fun theme. They put a lot of energy and heart into it, so we really appreciate you too as well. Okay, so now... our chaplain for the day is Tim and Gary. And we thank you both, as well as Frida in the back, who's been holding our service in prayer consciousness the whole time. So these two gentlemen are available after the service if you have something heavy on your heart. The power of releasing it by speaking it is very effective. And also if you want to celebrate, maybe you want to share what you've let go of from the past and share with them too what you are walking into in this coming year. Feel free to join these gentlemen up front. Thank you both for your service. If you'd like, you can also fill out a prayer request form. You'll find those in the front of the seat in front of you, or in the pocket in front of you, I should say. And let's see, you can fill those out and put them in the prayer box, either at the end of this row here in the back, or in the box in the atrium to the right, and then it'll just be on your left. That's where you can put them. Our prayer team will pray over them for a week, and then they'll be sent to Silent Unity, where they'll pray over them for 30 days. So if you doubt, I recommend you do it, and you'll see the power of this prayer process. Also, if you know of someone that is in the hospital and has requested a visit by one of our prayer chaplains, please find the form that's in the front, also in front of you in that pocket, and fill that out, and one of our chaplains will visit them. You can also put that in the prayer box. Okay, and now we get to welcome the next generation, the children. I can hear them.
All right, we have a song for this one. It is Walking in the Light.
I am walking in the light. Wonderful. Welcome to all our youth. I would like to start this off with Ella giving an announcement.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Our announcement today is that we're going to have a soup luncheon on the 19th of January, and we're going to use all of the funds and loving donations to go to camp. And we would love if you would come support us by getting a bowl of soup. Yes.
And that will be the same day as our town hall, so please bring your cash to donate. Camp is transformational for these youth. I can guarantee you that. Okay, and today is our first Sunday of the month, which means we get to celebrate you if your birthday is during this month. So if you would, please stand if you are a January birthday. Jan is a January birthday. Excellent. Carol, wonderful. Welcome. Okay, so now we get to sing to you. Any idea what that is?
Hello?
Happy birthday to all of you. Now, we are very, very grateful for the gifts that are all right here. Sorry. Up on the stage, all of you amazing gifts of our youth, and we want to take a moment and bless you all, and all of those that serve these youth as well. So together, be the love you are, sing the song you hear, share your joy of life with people far and near, and for ourselves too. Be the love we are, sing the song we hear, share our joy of life with people far and near. All right, if you young people would please find those you came with. Thank you all for staying seated until they find their people. Okay, we have connected. All right, so if you would please, if you're able, stand and join us for our prayer for protection and our peace song. The light of God surrounds us.
remember to pick up your message for 2020, a year of vision. Ah.